here. Like, you get this weird highlight hitting his stomach. You get, like, the whole background completely blocked off by these shifts.
It's the classic green screen problem of just like, all right, no one actually knows what it's going to look like because they're just looking at this void of green. And that includes the actor, but that also includes the cinematographer, who's going to have to basically order where the lights are going to be, and then the VFX are decided upon later. Sometimes they make the decision to be like, you know what? We're going to make our own lighting to make the shot look good, even though that's now different than the lighting for the actual subject on the green screen. That creates a disconnect, and that is where a lot of the, oh, it's just shot on a green screen type takes come from, you know?
I mean, to me, that's like the biggest challenge with green screen is lighting your green screen element to match the scene it's actually going to be composited into. I guess we're a big fan of when we do green screens for like an element on a shoot, we do it in the spot, if we can, where it'll eventually be composited into. That way the lighting all matches. So pro tip for any guys out there who have a budget and you want to use a green screen, do it outside. It's going to look better.
Yeah, just get the little pop-up green screens and go...
One for blankets.
Yeah. Oh, dude, yeah. Get a quarter digital, that store.
Lighting matches here. The sunlight hits from the right direction.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. This is a very well-connected shot. They probably shot a lot of this movie just like they went out to the parking lot and they're like, all right, put the camera really low, staring up, and that's the perspective of everyone else. No CG, great, but then they still put a whole sky in the background, but that's easy enough to do.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
It's also hard to match, like, the aperture difference, you know, because it's like, he was in focus and they were kind of out of focus, and it definitely looks like they're trying to make it work, but it's one of those things that's just very difficult because to film all of those people at the correct scale, you would also need to film him using the same scale camera.
One of the challenges of filming miniatures, especially when you have a big thing in the shot at the same time, is the smaller something gets, the shallower the depth of field gets. Like, if you take macro photography, for example, you know, like you only get like a sliver of something in focus and everything goes really out of focus. Imagine you're filming a person that's a 1-inch tall person with a regular camera. Just think of how big that camera sensor is relative to the person. The bigger a camera sensor gets, the more out of focus the background.
For moderate to severe Crohn's disease, Skyrizi is the first IL-23 inhibitor that can deliver remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Liver problems may occur in Crohn's disease.
Control of Crohn's means everything to me. Ask your gastroenterologist about Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
The background and foreground will get. Basically, the shallower your depth of field can become. If you want that same effect, and the person was 6 feet tall, well, your sensor would have to be 10 feet wide, like 10 feet tall, which would give you the correct depth of field now when you film a 6-foot-tall person to make them look like they're 1 inch tall. But obviously, a sensor of that size doesn't exist. So they're avoiding this whole like focus issue by just kind of shooting everything in deep focus. Deep focus is when everything is in focus. It's kind of made famous by Citizen Kane. That was kind of one of the first movies to come out, just to be like all deep focus all the time.
Let's
take a look at something new. So it was come to my attention actually on our subreddit. One of the craziest
the start of
things I've
something
seen was posted. You make a film in one language and you want to put it into another language. How do you do that? Well, generally you dub it, you add subtitles, you do all that stuff. However, obviously, as we know right now, there's a lot of fun AI stuff when it comes to redoing lip movements, facial expressions, all that stuff. This movie called The Champion is basically the first movie to use AI to visually redub the entire film into a new language.
Hi, cutie.
Soul size. You can do that, Commandant. So did.
Wow.
Dude, that lip, man, that is subtle.
That's really good.
Isn't that freaking crazy?
Where's your bowl? Go get your bowl.
What do you think the technique is, like, from a layman's perspective?
So there is an AI called Wave 2 Lip, where it basically takes an audio waveform and makes the lips smooth. It's not that bad, but
Wally,
it's
get down.
pretty low res, and it only does the lips. So this is why we assume it's doing like a more refined version of this.
So what they're doing, it's one level deeper than what Wave 2 Lip is doing. So Wave 2 Lip attempts to guess what the mouth shapes are going to look like, whereas with this one, the way they do it is they take the actors and then they redub an English version, but it's being filmed with like 3 witness cameras. So that way they have a base for what it's supposed to look like when they're speaking. So they still have to do the laborious process of taking the entire film and redubbing it in English, but then using those cameras to have like the data of what it looks like when they speak, and then AI magic, blah, 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 and then final film.
So it's not some random other person doing the lines on camera. It's the original actor, but they fed him the English lines that he was able to just say.
Yeah, he says that later in a studio after the film's finally edited, and I think they applied to the final color graded footage. Hypothesis: you film on 3 cameras, you then take that footage and project it onto a model that allows you to actually align it with the actor's rotation, and then from that point is where you would use some of that AI stuff to make the transfer of one performance onto the other.
They could be using the 3D models for the extreme angles, which you tend not to get very good results for when you just do a basic deep fake process to them. I feel like it'd be way too labor intensive if you're constantly having to align the 3D models.
Yeah, and Mike Seymour made a point of saying that the process is very streamlined, and so they were able to do hundreds of shots. And I feel like if they're having to do all of these 3D models of faces and alignment and stuff like that, that's the opposite of streamlined.
This, as a concept, for me, is one of the coolest, most positive, actual tangible benefits we can start to see with visual AI. Of all the things you can use AI for, tricking people and faking things and blah, 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 it's how awesome would it be to have a foreign language film that's now suddenly accessible to anyone or any language?
Dude, I'd love to see this applied to the show Dark on Netflix.
I know, yes. There's so much to look at and figure.
When it comes to Nature Valley, which camp are you in? Oats and honey? Or everything bagel?
Nature Valley makes an everything bagel bar?
Try Nature Valley Savory Nut Crunch Bars. Available in 3 flavors like everything bagel.
My name's Christian Cowan, and I'm collaborating with Adobe on Project Primrose, which is this amazing color-changing sequined dress using Adobe technologies.
Are you gonna skip the commercial, douche?
I love things that figure out, you're constantly what's going on? And then you're reading the subtitles and you look up and you're like, what's going on? Yeah, you're right. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
And you didn't pause it. It was still running when I left the
and
room.
you've been asking us to really break down some bad VFX. So leave a comment down below with any examples that you thought are the worst VFX shots of all time.
Charles.
Xavier?
So I love simple, clever visual effects. And the movie Logan has that when Professor X has a seizure and everybody starts going whoa, our brains are being melted. Patrick Stewart was like, I know I'm supposed to be going crazy and losing it, but when you guys are just sitting here pointing a camera at me, and I was going, it's like, it just doesn't hit. I'm not able to get into the headspace, And he was like, all right, what do you want us to do? He's like, shake the camera. And then it was like, what if we shook the camera really hard and stabilize it afterwards?
So what we're seeing is a bunch of camera shake that's been stabilized.
You see this all the time in actual stabilized footage, where there's a motion blur streak that goes, the footage didn't move, you're like, where'd that come from? It just goes to show, it's not about how crazy your simulations are, it's about your ideas and how they execute with the story. And stabilizing it, that's all they did. That's an effect you can do right now with your phone and 5 minutes on the computer. It's that
Francesca!
Wait, is Sam Professor X?
Okay, here we go.
Alright, hold on, I gotta get Sam. His injector.
Here, I'm gonna use that altered clip for the altered line, just so I can say something hilarious.
I'm Professor X. Oh my gosh, I'm having a seizure.
Did you finish your homework? How much more do you have? Okay. Take those bowls downstairs and that sauce.
You need to have a camera that has global shutter.
Oh yeah, otherwise you just get the Jello.
Remove the Francesca, the sauce.
Most cameras, including Red cameras, Blackmagic cameras, or iPhones, they all have a non-global shutter. Some Red cameras have global shutter. Most cameras have a CMOS
Put the
sensor,
chicken in the
which
fridge.
records from top down. So if you're spinning left and right, your image suddenly skews. So this reminds me of Top Gun and how they got.
You should have eaten it. You weren't doing anything.
Wait, what? The old Top Gun?
Yeah, the original Top Gun movie that came out in the 80s. They were filming miniatures of the jets flying by. And if they were just shooting with the camera, they were missing out on all of that energy. And so they came up with this crazy, interesting camera rig. It was a drill.
Oh, really?
The way they got this was by taking a drill and taking a block of wood and putting it on a rod into the drill. But that block of wood was off center, so that when it would spin, it would vibrate. It's the exact same mechanism that makes your video game controllers vibrate and rumble. Yeah, so like this shot, for instance, it's just a suspended miniature jet.
Look at that.
They're just spinning it.
Yeah,
like,
that's so
it.
cool.
Yeah, they just turn it on. It's literally a button to get camera shake in camera.
That's so cool.
So Todd Vaziri shared that bit of knowledge. They could have done that for the Logan shot, as opposed to just like hitting the camera or just manually trying to shake it.
Yeah, to keep it that consistent, it's hard.
The frequency of the shake is very hard to get as well, and that's where this is coming in, because it's a very high frequency shake.
Dude, I love the idea of having to wrangle your camera. It's like, let's go!
But seriously, think about like the Logan stuff. Like, I see this from decades ago. I'm like, hey, does anyone have a operated drill on standby? And it's like, yeah. It's like, cool, I'm taping it to my shoulder rig. It takes, what, 5 minutes to rig an equivalent version? The frequency of, like, handheld vibration and shaking it is one thing, but when you have something that can, like, go above that, like, the look, you can sense how different it looks. Would it have benefited from, like, a drill? I think it actually probably would have made it just a little bit more intense.
But I don't know, because the drill would have created a very consistent blur, but what I'm seeing here is the blur kind of flaring out and coming back to normal again, then kind of flaring out, and that inconsistency, I don't think is something that you would get from a drill-mounted type rig.
Unless you were going like,
Oh my god, you're totally right. That's exactly That's it. Yeah,
He doesn't know how drills work.
What's up, everybody? I'm back to tell you about one of my favorite sponsors of this channel, Noom. As you know, I've been using Noom for months now, and it has literally changed my life and how I approach food and exercise and everything. See, Noom is a science-based program, not a diet. It's not a fad diet. It's not a one-off. One of the main goals here is food tracking. So I track my food every day using their color code system. Green, yellow, and red. You know, you have a calorie budget. You're trying to fit within that. More green foods is better than more red foods. And just by tracking it every day helps me make those better decisions in my everyday life. There's also really great programs. I just took a lesson today about social eating. You know, it's kind of hard to pass up on the extra dessert or pass up on the extra appetizer when you're sitting with a big group of people. So the lesson I took today was called Breaking the Habit, and they were teaching me a psych trick on how to approach social eating a little bit better. You know, when you're eating with a big group of people, they actually say that you eat 65% more than you would in a regular meal, just because of the social factor. So one of the tricks they told me was to try to finish eating first, or make sure you have your order planned ahead of time so you're not just giving into the peer pressure and eating what everybody else is eating. So just by being more aware, Noom has helped me make better decisions in my life. As you guys have known over the last few months, I've lost upwards of 40 pounds just from Noom. So I'm still on it, but to be honest, I'm also not perfect. It's really hard to do it every single day and keep it going and logging your food. So one thing that brings me back to Noom time and time again is the support system. Jennifer has been an awesome life coach in Noom, and because of this, I promise to keep it up to keep you guys.
What are you doing up here? Who? Wally. Have a kiss? Cat? Wally, get down. Don't play games with me.
Ramble.
That's a different podcast.
Big, gooey, messy burger.
Also known as Sloppy Joe.
Welcome to Guilty Pleasures.
Takes two songs.
Yeah, it takes 2 songs. Guys, this is an exciting week.
It takes two. I'm not buying it.
For every man who ever wanted to do right by his daughter.
Who is she?
She's going to be your new mother. For every woman who ever longed to become a mother.
Drop the bat, let's go! Just let me smash this ball downtown!
Warner Brothers has 2 perfect answers.
What I see is me. I see me too. I'm the woman of the house, and you're off to a year-round boarding school.
I forgot she put gum in her hair. That was funny as hell.
Matchmaker.
All I gotta do is meet once, Singapore love for sure.
I used to look like a real jerk on a horse.
You really should put some iodine on your back. Guys like him like girls with food names. Cookie, muffin, and I'll marry girls like me.
Yeah.
But before they can get them to live happily ever after.
We simply mustn't wait another day.
To what?
Cindy, Mindy, Fluffy, Biff.
Big bad witch.
The gum in your hair?
This Thanksgiving.
We could have a balloon.
It's snail's nest.
Nice.
Warner Brothers Family Entertainment invites you to share some food.
Hold up. Not another horse.
And have some fun. Kirstie Alley, Steve Gutenberg, and the Olsen twins, Mary Kate and Ashley. It
I
takes
feel
two.
unlocked.
Well, ladies, what do you have to say for yourselves?
Like, this was always on TV.
Somewhere on this island is $200 million. But here's the deal. You have to find it. Now go get those...
This is big.
This is
huge.
big.
This is big for Big Zach.
Juicy. Well, I can't believe. Okay,
Big
we're
me,
talking
big
about
me.
It Takes Two, the Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen 90s hit, and this is, I think, the first episode where both Kelsey and I are like, no, this is
On
mine.
the same
No,
page.
this is mine.
You think it's yours? I'm sorry.
I know for a
What
fact this is
queer little
mine.
girl are you playing stickball in your fucking street up where? In fucking...
She almost has that same haircut.
I almost
Currently.
want to go balls in a backwards cat.
Oh, I would love that.
Remember how last week or next week the viewers will hear how you said don't... can I borrow that? Don't place your entire identity in media.
Yeah.
That it's too late. That my entire identity came from this fucking movie.
I wanted to be Mary Kate and Ashley so bad.
That's so funny.
Gayest shit you've ever said.
I loved them. I wanted to be them. I don't think I wanted to date them. I wanted them to be my children. I wanted them to be my friends. Like, Mary Kate and Ashley, if you guys were not around in the 90s, you didn't experience the MK plus A dominance. They were everywhere.
They have done so many movies of them two in crazy kooky scenarios, different states, different places, but It Takes Two is maybe the best.
This one is different than the others.
I started off this movie with probably the most controversial thought I feel like I've had.
Ever?
Maybe. And I literally wrote it down. I said, who would have thought that the best Olsen has yet to come? just hurting people's feelings.
You fucking don't know.
I absolutely do know.
It is wild.
The one is the better one.
The third one is the better one.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen is so talented.
Fucking destroyed.
Cannot touch what her sisters
But
do.
also it's because
that's
they
true.
the sisters don't have to.
Yeah,
They've been retired for 20 years now.
They Meryl Streeped at 5.
I feel like they Steve Jobs at 5, where their entire brand is just so beautifully put together to where they don't have to do anything anymore for the rest of their lives, and then they also some crazy makeup company or fashion company or something like that.
I'm sure it destroyed them as people, right? Because they were working from. I mean, obviously. Full House, Michelle Tanner, they were adorable, iconic, they were stars. Then they started their VHS series, they had like, I want pizza! They had their little like half-hour shorts, I don't even know what those were.
Just put them back out, put them outside!
Double toilet trouble.
Let the dogs outside! Wolf, let the dogs outside.
Put this up.
Okay. You should have left it there. You never should have moved it. Leave it there. Put it down. Let the dogs outside now.
Yes.
Don't argue with me. I don't care to hear it.
I
I don't know if Billboard Dad was after this. I mean, this was kind of in the middle. Yeah. Later on, you get
the dolphin one. They go to Florida.
Billboard Dad. You get Passport to Paris. I mean, it just
Passport to Paris.
But to your point, Kelsey, I do think this is the best one.
This is the best one.
And I think it's because this is the only one that feels like an actual movie. Like the other ones
Which is not just them hanging out.
The other ones are Mary Kate and Ashley vehicles.
Yes.
Yeah. This is
a movie with Mary Kate and Ashley.
This is the Parent Trap.
Yeah.
But better.
It
is better. I do think it's better.
I know.
Have you never seen this, Rainey?
I know for a fact it's better.
I haven't seen this, but The Parent Trap is really good.
The Parent Trap is really good.
The second.
I can't imagine. This was 1995. This was before Parent Trap.
This is before the remake of the Parent Trap.
Right, sorry. No, it's worse.
Well, Lindsay Lohan, obviously impressive that her other sister, never acted in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen this movie, look at it. I love this movie.
Yeah.
I watched this movie
150 times.
I watched. Oh my god, I can't even. I'll get
This movie is so iconic that I've never seen it, but
It's like they forgot how to raise their dogs.
I don't know. Just open the door. Open the door. What is complicated about opening a door?
I feel like I've seen every scene from the movie.
That's how I feel about every fucking movie you talk about.
No. When I say I've seen most of the scenes of this movie, I've seen them clips somehow, not like redone or revisited. I've literally seen.
Didn't you watch these?
I don't know.
Maybe she doesn't deserve Paw Patrol.
I like twins. I think that was what it was. I was freaked out by twins.
You afraid of a British accent?
Yeah. Or I guess it's not British at all.
It's not
British.
It's like posh.
Yeah.
East Side, Connecticut, Maine.
The Lindsay Lohan one, that was a huge accent. She was really trying. But this one, no, it's just a posh accent.
Yeah.
It's also so funny that the
I thought you were going to say so funny.
there is a clearly better sister at acting. Mary Kate is so much better than Ashley.
Yeah.
She's so
It's been said.
so much better than Ashley. It's stark. She is
Mary Kate rips
into the shit.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, real quick. I was giving you the synopsis. It's The Parent Trap.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's get into it. It's they're two twins.
It's the Prince and the Pauper.
They one's a little orphan girl. One has a billionaire daddy. The orphan has
a social worker.
Kirstie Alley.
Yeah.
Working with her.
Kirstie
Alley.
Alley.
Wants to get her a man. Steve Guttenberg is going to marry a horrible woman. They decide to switch places and make dreams come true. Mary Kate is such a good actress.
Yeah.
Could you imagine she just fucking carries her sister? That has to cause some form of tension in the household.
Do you think that they knew? Do you think Ashley knew?
Oh, 100%.
Do you think when they were recording, Full House, because they had child labor laws, that's why they would cast a twin as one role. So you can only work them at certain times. Do you think they would do the scene with Ashley for like over the shoulders and be like, "That was great. You know what? We are all out of time.
You go hang out in the trailer.
I would love to keep filming with you.
Yeah.
I would love to, but we are out of time.
I do want to know what the fuck is going on in that household because of how Elizabeth Olsen came out, where she's this phenomenal actress, but also I won't do an interview. I will not fucking post anything online. I think that it rots your brain.
She's next to
You
us.
saw what it did to her sister.
She saw what it did to her sisters. So
The parents were literally like, "We're not gonna make. We got a third chance.
we're not gonna fuck this one up.
What do their parents look like?
I bet you
They're interesting looking
They
people.
must look like
aren't they?
doe-eyed dolls.
Yeah.
Troll
Oh my
dolls.
God. Some of the most beautiful eyes I've seen on children is
Oh,
the fucking Olsen's. Jesus Christ.
This movie made me want to be an orphan.
Not just an orphan, but
Stop
like
sitting on the pillow.
In New York City, Brooklyn orphan.
a Hey Arnold orphan. She was a Hey Arnold orphan.
They're playing stickball in the street. Taxis are coming.
Boardhouse.
And she fucking has this Brooklyn accent that she's been spinning
Why
pieces for her entire life.
You never gotta go pee.
I wrote my favorite line. Honestly, most of my notes are just lines that I love.
Yeah.
But it's, oh, come on, Diane, I ain't gonna hurt it. And then she goes, we gotta go. Just let me smash this ball downtown.
She is such a cartoon character of a kid.
Yeah.
She's wearing that dress with a backwards cap. I think I dressed up as her for like my school fucking Halloween a few times in a row. She is loud. She's proud. She doesn't like adults. She's good on her own. She's an independent baddie.
I also think it's so funny.
She's also five.
That, she's also five. That the whole stipulation in this movie is that dresses are constricting and don't allow movement. Where when I see a dress, I'm like, man, that seems so
honestly
free.
You're thinking
Got
of a
him.
sundress.
Yeah. A sundress. She was wearing was she not wearing a sundress?
She was wearing like a Sunday dress.
Yeah, I'm sure dresses are constricting in some degree,
Yes.
but like.
Yeah, in my mind, it's breeze and freedom.
It's breeze and freedom.
Listen.
You can move so much. It's omnidirectional.
Anything you can wear a bra or underwear with is my kind of fucking material. A dress is that bitch.
Ain't you never gonna wanna, don't you have to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Ain't you never gonna wanna,
Poetry.
don't you have to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, get some snaps.
Chef's fucking, that's like
That's
slam poetry.
That is
It
slam
really
poetry.
is.
I mean, we'll just keep talking about Mary Kate forever.
Yeah.
She
We'll never talk about Ashley on this podcast.
Never.
So they switch
No
lives,
chops,
'cause of
no
course they do. They
recognition.
run into each other, and the joy of watching Brooklyn Street Rat
Yes, she is a little
It-
underwater street rat.
infiltrate the world of the rich.
Here, clean
I
this.
adore it.
It's got schmutz in it.
It's almost like they just gave her more screen time. They were like, ooh, this one is the fucking star. Let's make a movie about her. Because she does take the back seat to her twin sister. That's crazy.
Like, it's more dramatic to see Little Orphan Annie get put in rich people world than to see rich people world go to camp for the first time, which that's how they juxtapose them as.
But I mean, you can make that exciting if you have somebody that's willing to carry it. But why? I'm so sorry I'm being so hard on this little girl.
She's a grown woman.
She's a grown woman now, and I think
Doesn't
that's
give a fuck
doesn't
about
give
you
a
or
shit
anything.
any of this.
Yeah.
But it's just so apparent, and if you've seen this movie, you can agree with it.
Yeah.
What was so funny watching it last night is that I was watching the movie. One, it felt like I didn't have to.
Yeah,
It was just reuniting
Wolf.
memories. Garrett is taking his hat back. Sorry, Kelsey, you look stupid now. Now you gotta go backwards. We're doing right.
Yeah, you gotta do right.
I was watching it, and I literally said out loud, "Oh, this seems iconic too."
Yes, every single scene is like a
You still eating?
master scene in this movie.
Okay.
And like,
Did you finish your homework?
We just watched it 5,000 times.
Yes or no?
I'm not able to
Okay.
be objective about this.
Well,
Yeah.
keep eating and then finish your homework.
You need to ground us,
Yes.
also don't.
the fact that they
Are the dogs inside?
well as
Good.
children
Thank you.
is what's
All of
insane
the
to me.
kids, all of the kids. This like
All of the kids.
brought me back to an era that Hook did. Where it's just like, oh my
Much
God,
better.
look at these beautiful children.
Yeah.
What were they putting in the water in the 90s?
I don't know.
What did they put in the water?
I think it's
Drugs.
Oh, that too.
They just put like they
Methamphetamine.
on everything, and everything was just bright and
they'll just
Cocaine.
Stock market and the
Barbiturates.
that they were given to all the
Those
children.
kids look like they
Ritalin.
enjoy the craft of acting.
Adderall.
Like they were having fun.
Xanax.
Their orphan friends were sad.
Gabapentin.
Like they were all having a. I bet you
Lisinopril.
they were at a summer camp set with a mansion.
Okay, wait. I said I wanted to be an orphan, and we didn't.
Barry!
But the
Barry! Don't play games with me!
colorful.
Yes.
Painted.
It's like
Standing there with them and tell them it's okay and calm them down.
It was painted.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hang out with my friends all the time.
Being from a New York City boy,
Yeah, I grew up in suburbs.
do they have orphans?
Officially, you will try to homicide. Two last year. It's always something, is he? Always.
Find new clothes.
Everywhere he goes.
I can't say that I've ever seen an orphanage.
Why would any... Oh, an orphanage.
Have you ever seen an orphanage? IRL?
No, I have not.
I've never seen a fucking orphanage.
You know what? Let's go.
Yeah.
We should make a stop. Wait, what? Are orphanages real? In America?
Yeah. I don't think they're as fun as this.
As fun.
Orphanages look like...
They made it look so fun. And I know that like everyone who went through that system is
bad.
So you can no. And I'm sorry.
She says it as well.
Yeah. She's like,
I'm saying what I love.
crazy.
Yeah, and that's because I am stupid.
It's hilarious.
Since U.S. orphanages have gone extinct entirely. Boarding schools, residential treatment center, and group homes.
Someone tweeted that I'm the most competently wrong person ever.
Yeah.
Because you'll say things, and I'm just like, no, you're crazy. Like, you said that a Yule log was a cake, and I'm like, you're stupid, Kelsey.
Honestly, that's what it's like being your friend. Being led into the dark, like when you told me that Puss in Boots made more than Avatar, I went and told everybody about
That was a joke. That was a joke. We were joking.
Obviously a meme.
We sent Kelsey a meme of Puss in Boots slam dunking. Okay, listen to this. It was a meme
Stop
of Puss in
playing the
Boots
piccolo.
as LeBron James slam
LeBron
dunking
Pope.
over Avatar, and then it was a chart of the highest grossing movies of all time, and it said that Puss in Boots had made over $14 billion.
Stop serving. I just popped my eyeballs in to see what you guys are chatting about. I don't read the context.
And Kelsey went around telling people that it made more than Avatar 2 and blamed us.
Yeah.
It was so funny, though.
I said it as a fact in front of both of you and to Maggie as if I was telling her a fact. I went, no, it made more than Avatar this weekend. And you both go, what? And I go, yeah. And you go, no, it didn't. You literally said that. What are you talking about?
Oh my god, it was so funny. What a good prank that wasn't a prank.
Wow.
Not green stuff. I'm not eating that. What's in there? Shut up, Zach.
Good. Like in the opening scene when they're playing the baseball and she gets in the cab, and then the little boy comes and he goes, Dad, you're around! And I'm just like, oh, that's funny. That's classic.
Yeah.
London just falling down. That's it.
London, but can we just tell the whole scene? Because I used to reenact that for my sister.
The fake facing
Please, because
is a moment.
I didn't get to see, or I didn't catch what she did.
So she does this thing when she wants to get out of a situation, and she
set it up early in the movie. That's good writing.
And she falls down, and her dad would give her attention, so she learns to do it when she wants to get out of a scenario. So she goes to camp, she gets played for charades, and she goes up, and we think she's so nervous because she doesn't know anyone, she's not like
She's never
herself.
played charades before.
Never played charades, and she fake faints, and then they're like, what? And her homegirl says, London is falling down, and she goes, that's it, as if she on purpose fainted now.
Yeah.
But I love it. She's laying down dead, and then just looks up and points. That's it.
Yeah. It's a very triumphant. Yeah.
There's another movie called It Takes Two.
There is
that
not
came
another
out
movie.
recently.
I do have to bring this up. Yes. Kelsey just Googled It Takes Two to look up notes, I believe. And the thing that came up was the game, the movie.
Yeah, why?
It's William. It won the best.
Guess what this has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Put Barry in the cage.
It has an 8%. Shut. It has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fucking
Both of your childhoods is worth 8% of yours.
You're lying to me. By the way, 7 of those percent is Mary Kay. 7 of those percent. It's literally. That is criminal.
Yeah.
That is criminal.
You know what? If you review this film, you need to hand in your badge.
Yeah.
I want your gun and badge on my desk. You're out of the force. That is.
Not the force.
I think that is rude. I think that this movie is a delight. I think that it is.
Barry is like got Tourette's or something.
In childhood.
Yeah, he's just getting like
senile,
grumpy.
Because the fucking
She had the Chanel set on that I was like, beautiful stepmom. She's skinny. She's bird-like. She's got blonde hair.
Oh my god. The fucking love of twins and blondes, the American love of twins and blondes is on full display here. During this whole movie, and you're just like, what? Why? Well, we got Kirstie Alley and her fucking beautiful eyes.
Kirstie Alley.
Yeah.
National fucking treasure. Back in the day. I don't know what became of her.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah,
So
sure.
may she rest in memory, really. Because, you know, most
Don't say
Kirstie Alley
really.
became kind of super crazy pants and towards the end, anti-vaxxer. But she's dead now.
And it's unfortunate. It's still sad. Death is always sad.
It's always sad. And she was a star. And honestly, she was one of those people that it hurt to see her become that.
It really did.
Because she was such a champion of our childhood.
Yeah.
You think about this and the Look Who's Talking franchise.
God. You gotta use Mr. Toilet. Give me that. Give me that.
Where did that memory
Fucking Star David.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's how I rate her. Give me the poopy. You better sit down on the toilet.
Wow.
Oh no, Mr. Poopy Mama. Not Mr. Poopy Mama. Mr. Poopy Pants or whatever.
Are we gonna watch?
Absolutely, I'm super down.
Okay.
Yeah. Kirstie Alley is great in this movie.
Yeah.
Steve Guttenberg is great.
That little man. What's he up to? What became of him?
Have you ever watched Party Down?
Yeah.
Excellent show, and one of my favorite episodes of it is Steve Guttenberg's birthday party, where Steve Guttenberg hires the caterers.
I don't know who that is.
He forgets to cancel it, and then he goes, "Well, we can still hang out," and they just hang out with Steve Guttenberg. It's great. The Goots is on full display. I want to tell you,
Goots is worth the squeeze, baby.
Nice. That was good.
this movie taught me what love was, and I think
out of the park
to a fault.
Over the fence.
Yeah.
Home run kind of feeling.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he's kind of the bad guy in this situation.
He's not a bad billionaire. He's the only good billionaire. Yeah. He married a teacher. Whose mom, she died.
She passed away.
So now he's looking. All he wants, he doesn't even really like her. He just wants a mom for our daughter.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. But he
No,
also
it's not.
ruins
Be a
another
parent.
woman's life in order to get that.
Fully destroys her.
Yeah.
He leaves her
Yeah.
at the altar cold.
Yeah. Very bad.
I have to admit that because of this movie,
Men are stupid.
I did the thing that Ashley does to the evil stepmother.
You put gum in someone's
When she
hair.
goes
Love
to
it.
give her a hug and she spits in her hair, and the woman is forced to get a horrific pixie cut because of it. I did that at summer camp.
To who?
A girl named Chelsea.
Oh,
Fuck that bitch. Never liked her.
Hates you.
Yeah. Oh,
Chelsea
yeah.
knows
And
who
she
you are,
cried.
and she
She'll never
should never
They had to
forget.
cut it out. She had a big stump of hair lock coming out. They tried to use peanut butter to get it out. It didn't work.
Yeah, they always try to use peanut butter.
I think I had peanut or gum in my hair once too. I fell asleep with it, and it's like it is impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
once
gotta
it's
just
in
shave it.
there. Anyway, so this movie really inspired me.
Well, let's talk about the love. The quote is, "It's gotta be that canny
Can't sleep.
Let me see some food. Is it worth it? Worth it, pho? What is it worth?
It's worth it.
Ramble.
Just watch Miles
He's
make
so
coffee again.
Stupid. Oh my gosh. And Will, just... Is he okay?
Stoned in a corner.
I love that, like, people were constantly talking to Miles, being like, is Will okay? What about Will? Like, what's going on with him? He seems sad. Why is he crying? That's how you talk to me. He asked me, like, rattle off, like, 15 questions. And then I stopped talking to him because we're
for 4 years.
Punk bitch.
Today's challenge is to make an educational
Julia.
cooking show, just like Julia Child. The only catch is that right before filming, we got
extremely suited, and now he must fight through the giggles to give you a well-rounded culinary learning experience.
Alright, one more time to explain what we do. We're going to look up that blue, and then we're going to get into it. If you linger too much on what the video is, you're going to see right through it. We're getting coffee, and we're making coffee. Okay, basically...
I was wondering why they were wearing sunglasses.
On today's video, we're going undercover to a local coffee shop and having their espresso latte and drip coffee. We're using what we've learned out in the field to return to my state-of-the-art coffee lab. I don't need to drink coffee all day long. I want to be sipping the good stuff, having hit the back of my throat. Weird. All day. I don't think I'm drinking this hitting the back of my throat.
Let that sip hit the back of my throat.
Well, it's time to suit up.
I'm waking up.
We are out here undercover, ready to go inside Bloom and Plume. We're gonna be normal. We're gonna be regular.
Are they though?
I am so hungry, by the way. Yeah, me too. Just get egg and bacon. Okay. We'll take this to share. It's a pretty sick latte art to hear. Oh, really? In my opinion. Man, it's really good. What's awesome about it? It's so drinkable. It's really bright and like acidic. The sheer width of it makes you like your fucking face first into a cappuccino. Cool. Well, Will, I think we know enough.
I think we've really gotten a lot of
Francesca.
Wow, if it tastes this rich, fill it to the rim.
With brim. Fill your cup to the rim with the richness of brim.
You crying?
We refueled, okay?
Oh,
We refueled.
gross.
Am I right?
Keep that to yourself.
Those
Can
are
you give me a Snickers bar?
So you don't even worry about
Thank you.
You don't have to worry about me. I'm safe. Stop bragging about Will, okay?
Stop.
Wolf up.
I know a lot of people
Stop, Francesca.
how Will's doing.
Francesca, stop. Come back.
See? We tell him Will. That's right. I'm doing just fine.
Your dad needs to bother you too.
I feel like you're in the dark.
What do you have to bother me with?
Got him!
Give me one too. Also, let Wally out of the cage. He doesn't need to be locked up.
Okay.
Just Barry.
Coffee is the #1 export in the world.
It's not.
That's true. I don't know. Like, what that even would mean.
Maybe in the 1800s.
I'm making coffee. One of my favorite methods of making coffee. What's so good about the drip pot is you can make coffee for a whole fucking shit.
Why did he cut the cord off?
As you see here, I did cut off the power cord, and now it is just a prop.
Probably because he had it in the background and he didn't want a cord sticking out.
So we're left to use
Thank you.
what's really exciting about this
You're wonderful.
is a little
Wait, take this trash. Bam.
Hey. What's up, bud?
First thing you need to know about espresso is it's like a shotgun to the ass. It's a powerful flavor that a lot of people are not prepared for, and a lot of people think it's stinky or gross. But I'm here to tell you it's not
delicious.
That. It's not that at all. I like to go for a shot of espresso around 18 grams of coffee. And if it tastes weird, you're gonna have to calibrate your grinder. Typically. So let's get grinding, Will. See? Just listen to the sound of the grinder.
Hey, well, how's your dad?
The thing about espresso machines, ow, shit. They are definitely hot. 2 napkins between you and a hot surface. Probably want to do more.
This will make you cream your jeans. This one's going to disperse the grounds and either way, and it's kind of fun. How cool. Not necessary. If people say you need this, they're part of the bourgeoisie and they must be killed. You just want to tamp evenly and effectively. This is actually a tamper I really like. It does it evenly. It catches the sides. You go in and it tastes. It's perfect. And how nice is that? How clean is that? How clean? If you make coffee that tastes shitty, be proud of that. Because I do that literally all the time and I've been doing this forever. Will, fly out. Power on the machine? You just turned it on. Like I turned it on. But it wasn't powered off. Basically, how you think about it is its solubility, alright? Picture a bath bomb. What is a bath bomb? A bath bomb. I thought you said bath bomb. Will. Is that one of your fixes? Bath bomb is my search term. Let me get this on paper. Let me get this on. No. We gotta deal with this now. So basically, you want to saturate coffee grounds, coffee beans. You want to saturate the outer layers. Saturate and wash away.
Don't look at my butt. I said don't look.
But you don't want to wash away so much of the bath bomb that you're getting the poop flavor. Places, get to your stations. Water is coursing at 1,000 pounds a second. Compressorizing what we know is the good stuff. Whoa there. So what we've got here is a shot of espresso, that good, that golden. Wars have been fought over crossing, Will, right in front of my That's not bad.
I don't understand why you're here. We're not willing to help you with your homework. Okay, fine.
Stop barking.
Wording?
Yeah.
Why did you even go over there? Come back over here.
Come here, Willie. What's your problem? You guys nap out, Mister? Okay. You good dinner? Me?
Well, it's pretty good. It's just I just think it's a little more challenging, you know.
What's the hanger? And what's the equation?
The hanger is this, and this is the equation.
Okay, so first
Like
thing
that,
we're going to do, Will,
like the diagram right here, that's the
I want you to
hanger.
grab the milk. Okay.
And the equation now is supposed to put right here.
So basically say like, how can you use the hanger to figure out what the equation is? And then how can you use the equation to figure out what the hanger is, the value of it?
What you're going to do is you're going to slide your finger. Actually, how's your finger?
Smell his finger, and then...
Question it for a second.
I mean, did they wash their hands when they got in? When they got back from coffee?
Clean finger. Well...
So what we're basically going to do, Will, is we're going to create tiny little bubbles inside, and then I'm going to do what I think is going to be one of the best watches of all time. I think we'll have to see. Oh, look at that foamy little fucking thing. Pour your espresso here. Do I pour it in the cup? Yeah, put it in the devotion, the yellow cup. It didn't take. We just saw it working.
No, it didn't. But I know you saw it working, but what you saw was an illusion.
Sorry, this steamer didn't take this time. It's just every 200 times where that'll happen. You did describe this as the best latte of all time. Wow. What went wrong there? You tell me you don't know. He genuinely doesn't know. Then when you got it all wrong, you blame it.
Is that chicken even seasoned? Because it looks like just oil and cognac.
Yeah.
Which is not flavor. For chicken. Salt, pepper, garlic, onion, paprika.
You're gonna take your milk, you're gonna drop it in, boom.
And ginger.
That's nice. Fuck up the design. And you get the idea. You did at least like the. It looks so vulva-like. Oh my god, yes, very natural.
It's not a great song, but it's there.
I feel like that's pretty fucking good. Yeah.
Is it?
That's pretty good, right? I'm not wrong? That's good. And there you have it, folks. Miles clinches with Will as his Sue.
I might even like that better than the latte we got.
I can fucking tongue you.
Yeah.
I feel so grateful for you.
Like flexing, like, you know, foam on your
Foam flexing your beard. That's why people shouldn't have beards. Why? Because they're filled with bacteria and food that you ate earlier that day, the day before. How long is that soup in your beard?
Will, what's your favorite coffee memory?
My dad would take me to get coffee. He would get us vanilla milk steamers. Just steamed milk with a little squirt of vanilla in there.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's fucking so delicious.
What do you love about your dad?
Because he didn't just ask him that question. He like made a point to walk over to the grinder and turn it on.
Yeah.
My dad would take me to get coffee. He would get us vanilla milk steamers. Just steamed milk with a little squirt of vanilla in there.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's fucking so delicious.
What do you love about your dad?
Yeah, he's a really kind person.
That is a decent extraction, but it's not perfect. But it's a good lesson. Nothing is ever perfect. Even things that may feel so. I once got a great sweater, and then I lost it.
Oh,
Now we're going to dig into our creamy little ice cream.
the avocado.
I love ice cream so much. I have ice cream like almost every day.
Hey, you know, you gotta find ways to find joy in your life. Ice cream.
Every day.
This is a very simple dish. It's just ice cream. And then
Bring me an ice cream sandwich!
So I find that people are like, oh, it's gonna keep me up at night. Oh, whatever. And yeah, that's something to consider. So you should pour the piping hot espresso just fucking all over the place.
Everywhere.
Yeah, well, you are spilling it. But it's just really nice because it kind of creates a coffee ice cream, and it's got this warm, melty, nice, like.
Bring me an ice cream sandwich!
Fucking on, right? No, it is gonna be bad though. It also is forgiving. Like, if your shot of espresso is actually like kind of like bitter and not good, it's gonna be so good on ice cream.
I can't share wet foods with another person.
Cheers to our wonderful day.
Like ice cream and soup.
If you are
It's like I'm not sharing
at
this.
home and you feel like you can't make coffee,
Do you think you're solving a problem with this?
Getting separate soups.
Like, you're freeing the world. Like,
this is a non-profit video. Hey, cheers to
Kid!
you, viewer. Oh, it's cold. It's so fucking good. Thanks for watching Coffee by the Show, where we drink coffee after we smoke pot. And this person
You, bring me an ice cream sandwich. You, are you done your homework?
Almost.
Take a shower and then finish your homework.
What?
Perfect person!
In 1941, Carl Crusher and his wife
No.
borrowed $300
Take a shower.
and then added $15 of their own savings to open.
With Premier Protein powders, you can mix up your Mondays, Sundays, post-run.
Hello and welcome back to Jarvis Johnson Gold, the premium channel that is free. It is free, but if you're watching this, you're premium. And And today we are returning home to animated story channels. For those of you who
Make it snappy.
Are now on your deathbeds, I used to talk about these animated story channels a fair bit in the early days of my channel for good reason. They were making stories that they were saying were from real kids. They were very extreme. Roll a clip, Jarvis.
My mother and father cannot afford to pay the doctor who helped my mother give birth to me. The doctor suggested that they
bring me my sandwich.
For his services.
Thanks, man. Anyway, I've seen My Story Animated.
Put that dog down. Put that dog down. Wally!
Wally!
Put him in the cage.
Come here.
Stop yelling.
Wally.
Put him in the cage. No, bark at me.
We can talk about any.
Okay, Sarah, what are you doing in here?
About this channel, right? Let's start with the fact that it used to be called My Story Animated, and now it's called MSA. Previously, My Story Animated. I think that their goal was to make the name of the channel shorter, but now they've added words to it. There's going to be a time when somebody's like, you check out that new video from MSA? It sounds like a government organization. Be careful of what you're searching on the internet, or else the MSA will find out, and they'll get you. And they'll
take a shower.
Story against your will. It's happened to me. There's a real risk there. Maybe they're taking like the KFC approach, where KFC used to be known as Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Fuck you.
And then for some reason,
fuck
they
you.
into the acronym KFC. And we know what it stands for because we've had it for like, I don't know, 100 years. How old is KFC?
You were taking so long to take a bite. You were just like, I'm not sure. And I'm like, do you even want this? You can say no.
Talk to me in 2095, My Story Animated, before you want to rebrand to a 3-letter acronym. The difference between an acronym and initialism, I believe an acronym has